Welcome to Permission to Thrive. I'm your host, Suzi Lula. As a spiritual therapist for over 20 years, I have the honor and privilege of ushering women and mothers just like you on a journey from simply surviving to powerfully thriving. I also have the honor of raising our son, Will, who is now a young adult, with my longtime partner, Jamie, so I'm right there on the journey with you. Consider this your personal sanctuary, your space to meet your heart, embrace your messy, and come home to your most authentic, extraordinary self. My hope is that you leave resourced and inspired because you are here to shine. Welcome to Permission to Thrive. Always my deepest desire. So for any of you who haven't listened yet, you can go back to episode 59. It's called My Breakthrough into True Abundance, and you can hear a little more context about my journey. And for today, sit back, relax, and receive, because there is so much here for you on your own journey to your own consciousness into true abundance. So I want to begin by sharing with you all the catalyst for this transformation that I have just gone through, that I am experiencing. All breakthroughs, all transformation begins with a catalyst, and that a catalyst is awareness and intention. So the first catalyst that I had was an awareness, and out of that awareness, I set a very clear intention. So I had an awareness that it was sometimes challenging for me to maintain my own inner state of abundance consciousness in the midst of, or when I was with someone else who was experiencing a lack consciousness. So it was challenging for me to stay and maintain in my own consciousness and state of abundance while someone next to me might be moving through their own lack consciousness. And I had this awareness, and I knew that that was a reflection of my relationship with my mom from when I was young, that it was challenging for me when I was young to stay in, to maintain my own state of abundance when I was aware that she was living in, moving in. There was an atmosphere of lack consciousness in the household in which I grew up in. So I had an awareness that even in my current life, that reflected something that in my younger life was also challenging for me to do. It was challenging for me to maintain my own inner state of abundance when those around me and my household was experiencing a state of lack. So out of that, I set a very clear intention that I wanted to learn to experience that inner state, that inner consciousness of abundance, no matter what was going on around me. So that was the first catalyst. Now, when we set an intention, because we're always co-creating our life, the universe jumps in, steps in to assist us to manifest that intention. So when you, in your own life, have an awareness, and then you choose to set a clear intention out of that awareness, the next thing you want to become aware of is that the universe is going to jump in and assist you. So you want to begin to become aware of, look out for in your outer life, in your inner life. You want to look out for things that the universe is going to place in your lap to assist that intention to come to fruition, to assist that intention to manifest. So in my own life, I set this intention. I want to clearly know an inner state of abundance within myself, no matter what is going on around me. So I was, as I shared a little bit, but I want to go into this more deeply today, I was at then a retreat about a month ago in Malibu with Michael Beckwith for the Agape Board of Trustees. I'm a part of the board, and we were at a retreat. And I don't think I shared this last episode, but this was very significant in this breakthrough and transformation that I've just experienced. So I'm at this retreat, and one of the nights, the first night I think, we watched a documentary called Becoming King. That documentary documents actor David Oyelowo's 8-year journey to securing the role of Martin Luther King. And in the beginning of this documentary, there was something that struck me so deeply. It struck me to my bones, to my core. And that was where he began showing photographs of where he was raised. And he was raised in South Africa in poverty. And so at the beginning of this documentary, you see these visuals, these photos of him growing up in South Africa in poverty. And then as the documentary goes on, it begins interviewing his parents. And they're asking his parents, why did you name him David? And his parents are saying things like, we wanted him to know that in the Bible, King David is a regal character, that he comes from nobility, a king. And I'm having this awareness while I'm watching this documentary that although he was raised in physical poverty, he was actually raised by his parents in an abundance consciousness. So he was raised in physical poverty with an abundance consciousness. And it struck me so deeply because I, on the other hand, was raised in what you would see physically if you looked at the house and the neighborhood in which I was raised. Physically, I was raised in abundance, but I was raised in a poverty consciousness. And that really struck me deeply. My experience growing up was very conflicted because I was aware that physically I was being raised with certainly more than enough materialism around me, but I was painfully aware that I was being raised in a consciousness of poverty, a consciousness of lack. And the dichotomy with the way that David was raised in this documentary just was not lost on me. It was very poignant. It hit me in a really deep way. And that speaks to what has always been my deepest desire, my deepest intention, was always more than any sense of materialism or finance. My deepest desire has always been that I was seeking to know that abundance consciousness that his parents were clearly residing in. If you watch the documentary, you can just feel from his parents. And I always was longing for, searching for, seeking, interested in, desiring, setting an intention to have the inner state of abundance. And so that night, watching that documentary, I was aware that I was already in a chapter in my life where I had set an intention to experience my inner state of abundance, regardless of what was going on around me. And boom, the universe put into my lap that night that documentary. So it wasn't lost on me. I was aware that that's how the universe works. And the universe, through this documentary, was assisting me on my journey, my transformation into abundance consciousness. So for the next couple of weeks after that retreat, after watching that documentary, I've been sitting with, just working with, contemplative, introspective, about that inner state of abundance consciousness. So cut to then a conversation, and I did share this conversation on the last episode with Michael Bernard Beckwith. I know that being the founder of a global organization, he has individuals and staff and different financial obligations. And so I was asking him what was his inner experience of having a staff and these financial obligations. What was his inner experience around his outer experience? And he shared with me that he is grateful that he's even in a position to have individuals and staff leaning on him financially. When I heard him say that, I realized in an instant that he must already acknowledge that he's abundant in order to feel grateful. So in order to feel grateful, one must already feel, experience, embody that they are abundant. We aren't grateful from a place of lack. So I realized in that instant that my mom was abundant, but she never gave herself permission to call herself abundant. And I realized in that instance that I carried that on from my mom, that I'm abundant, and yet I have not given myself permission to call myself abundant. I've always said, when I make more, when I have more, when I can do more, then I will, whatever that mysterious more is. And I realized in that moment, in that conversation, hearing him and having that awareness, my own nervous system relaxed. Maybe for the first time ever in my life, and I had the simultaneous awareness that my mom's nervous system probably never relaxed. Because although I see her as self-made, as abundant, as an amazing individual, I don't think that she ever gave herself permission to really stand in her own abundance, to embody her own abundance consciousness. And then I carried that on, not giving myself permission to carry on my own sense of abundance or step into my own state of abundance. And in that moment, maybe for the first time ever, I felt my own nervous system relax. It was like a light switch went on. I realized that I am abundant now in this moment, exactly as I am, with what I have and with what I don't have. Exactly in the midst of my life right now, I am that abundance. And it is the fulfillment of an intention that I have set to know my abundance, because it's clear to me that we will take nothing with us. When we pass on from this world, obviously, we are not taking anything of this material world with us. I'm aware that we're not going to take our finance with us. We're not going to take our homes with us. We're not going to take anything of this material form with us. We are only taking our consciousness with us, which is why it's always been so important to me to step into a consciousness of abundance. I've wanted to feel and to experience and to embody a consciousness of abundance. And in that moment, in that conversation, I had the recognition that I must be abundant in order to even feel grateful that I'm able to have other people financially dependent upon me. It's really similar to the experience of worthiness. So abundance is like worthiness. It's a birthright. It's your birthright. It's who you are. It's who you are irrelevant of what you have done or haven't done. It's your birthright irrelevant of what you have or what you don't have. It's a state of being, a state of consciousness. And so just like worthiness is your birthright, now you may experience yourself as worthy or experience yourself as not worthy. You can think that you're not worthy, but your natural state is worthiness. So if you are thinking that you are not worthy, you are depriving yourself of your own inner experience of something that is natural, that you're encoded with, that is your birthright. And similarly, I was depriving myself of knowing myself to be abundant, because we are all abundant. That is our birthright. You were born into a state of abundance. I was born into a state of abundance. And for many different cultural reasons, familial reasons, especially for many, many, many of us as women, we've had generations culturally and generations of conditioning that we are less than, that we are not enough, that we are not as abundant as a man, all these different cultural and familial indoctrinations. But yet and still, my birthright, your birthright, is that we as women are abundant. And to the degree that I am experiencing myself as lack is only to the degree that I am withholding my own knowing, my own experience of abundance from myself. Can you relate to this? Because you are abundant, you are worthy, and I am abundant, I am worthy. And so if I'm not experiencing myself as abundant, if I'm not experiencing myself as worthy, it only means that I'm depriving myself, I'm withholding myself of that inner experience, because my natural birthright is that I am, in fact, abundant and worthy. And the universe and our nature is abundant. And so I realize that the universe is abundant. And so if I'm not experiencing myself as what the universe is, and I'm part of this universe, I'm part of this nature, I'm part of nature, then it's me that's keeping the experience from myself. And I find that to be very liberating, because it means that there's nothing external, there's nothing outside of my dominion, there's nothing outside of me that could keep that from me. It's only my own misunderstandings. It's only my own conditionings. It's only generational patterning. And so if you're experiencing this, and if you can relate to me, I'm hoping that, like for me, that's actually it's very compelling to me to recognize, oh, I'm the only one keeping that experience from myself, because then I have dominion then to give that experience to myself. And that is what this journey has been for me, is the recognition that, like Dorothy and the ruby slippers, I have been abundant all the time. You have been abundant all the time. I've been worthy all the time. You've been worthy all the time. We've been wearing the ruby slippers, but we have been keeping ourselves apart and separate from the experience of the ruby slippers, so to speak. There is a quote in the Bible that says, "Be not anxious for your life. Be like the lilies of the field. The lilies of the field toil not, they are not anxious for their life." And I have been seeking not to be anxious for my life. It's like oxygen. You don't think throughout your day, oh, I hope I get that next breath of air. I hope if I take in oxygen that there won't be less oxygen for someone else. We take it for granted. We are aware that we are living in a universe that is abundant with oxygen, and there is an abundance of oxygen in which you are swimming. And so I'm recognizing that this state of be not anxious for your life, be not anxious for your abundance, be not anxious in your life. When I heard that statement from Michael Beckwith, I recognized my body relaxed. Be not anxious for your life. I'm experiencing in my nervous system, and this is the invitation to you as well, whether it's your worthiness, whether it's a state of health and vibrancy and radiance, whether it's a state of joy that you are seeking, whether it's a state of contentment and calm and peace, whether it is a state of abundance and prosperity that you are seeking, regardless of what you are seeking, it is your birthright, it is your nature, and you want to begin to inhabit the nervous system that says, be not anxious for it, because if you're not experiencing it, it's only that you might be depriving yourself of it based on your misunderstandings, your beliefs, your misbeliefs, your limiting beliefs, your conditioning, your cultural indoctrinations. And what you have been conditioned around is also so possible for you to step in to something different, step into different beliefs, step into the truth, step into higher beliefs, step into what is actually true for you and what is true about you. There is another saying that says, I will restore to you the years that the locusts have taken from you. And I'm also really experiencing that right now. I will restore to you the years that the locusts have taken from you. What does that mean? It means once you inhabit a state of consciousness, everything changes now and forever. Because right now, today, I am in an abundance consciousness, in a state of abundance. And meaning that in this moment, I'm inhabiting this consciousness. Yesterday doesn't matter anymore. The last 10 years don't matter anymore. How I was raised doesn't matter anymore. I'm not denying that that is how I was raised. I'm not denying that I grew up in a dysfunctional, rather toxic environment. But I am saying that once one is squarely anchored and rooted in the consciousness that you are seeking, nothing else matters, because your present state of consciousness is all that you have, and it is all that you need. So right now, inhabiting an abundant state of consciousness, that's all that I am experiencing. And so my next moment, my next hour, my next breath, my tomorrows, my next weeks, my next months, everything is co-created from this consciousness today, right now. So my tomorrow is coming out of this consciousness today, and I have stepped into, given myself permission to embody a state of abundance. So you want to ask yourself right now, what in your life is your intention? What in your life are you seeking to step fully into, to step squarely into? What state of consciousness, what state of being is calling you? So just take a moment with that. Just ask, what in my life is calling me to cut the cord, cut the old energy from maybe your own generational patterns, your own conditioning, be it cultural, be it familial. What indoctrinations were you born into, have you grown up in, that you may still be carrying on today, that is at the surface, that is the topsoil of your awareness, of your consciousness, but deeper down, the core of your consciousness, the core of your awareness is longing for, is seeking a different experience. And within you, I promise you, within you, there is a knowing. There is a deep knowing within you that knows who you are and that is seeking for you to come home to yourself, that is seeking for you to journey back to what you already know deep, deep down within you. So take a moment, go beneath the topsoil of your consciousness, go to the roots of your awareness, go to the roots of your consciousness, the core, the deepest place. What is it that is calling you, that wants you to come home to yourself? Like Dorothy came home to herself. She looked down, she saw she has the ruby slippers on all along. So there's something in you that's calling you to come home to your most authentic self, to the place that you know that is encoded within you with abundance and vibrancy and luminosity and radiance and well-being and joy and inspiration, creativity, expansion, infinite potential, infinite possibilities, a life that is connected to the most authentic you possible. There is a you within you that came here to live your life as only you can live it. And you don't want to miss one more moment of your own authentic life, your own authentic self. You want to meet your most authentic self. You want to meet that place within you that's just been waiting patiently for you to give it permission to come out of the closet. So I'm coming out of the closet right now. I'm coming out of the lack consciousness. I'm coming out of the lack closet. I'm coming out of the closet of lack to say, oh my gosh, I have been squandering myself in the back corners of a consciousness and a closet of lack, when all along I've been a shiny, sparkling diamond of abundance. I'm coming out today. I'm saying, oh, I'm abundant. I've been abundant all along. And I'm breaking generations of women in my family now that haven't also known themselves to be the abundant women that they are and have always been. And so by me stepping out, I'm allowing other women, men, but especially women everywhere, claim your abundance now. Claim the diamond that you are now. Don't go one more moment not giving yourself permission to shine like the diamond that you are, to shine like the light that you are. Let your light so shine. Let everyone see your light. By you shining your light, you don't take it away from anybody else. You are then the flame that sets the woman flame next to you on fire. You are the light that lights the woman next to you and the sister next to her and the sister next to her. So how has my embodiment, my breakthrough, my journey, my transformation lit a fire in you? What is it that wants to shine within you? And when you embody that, and then you tell it to another sister, another woman, someone next to you, maybe your daughter, maybe your mother, maybe your cousin, maybe your friend, maybe you send this episode to someone. When you come into contact with what is seeking to shine in your life as your light, and you shine and you light up from the inside out, you are then a light, and people will look at you and say, I want what she has. So once you inhabit the consciousness that is actually seeking you, you will be a light for someone else in your life. And you won't even know it because you will be radiating, you will be shining, you will be being yourself. So as a review, I want to just remind you of a few things, just 3 things. First, number 1, start with awareness and intention. Awareness and intention serves as catalysts in your life. Number 2, once you set an intention, look out to the universe to assist you to manifest that intention. Pay attention. The universe is going to place in your lap the perfect people, the perfect situations, the perfect circumstances for you to manifest the intention that you have set. And number 3, once you inhabit this intention, once you inhabit this new consciousness, you will never be the same. Your tomorrows are co-created out of your new intentionality, your new state of consciousness. And when you are living in that new state of consciousness, you become a light for your sister. You become a light for your daughter. You become a light for your mother. You become a light for all those around you. And what I know about you and for you is that you are here to shine. You are here to thrive. You are here to blossom and to bloom in your life right now. Don't wait another day to give yourself permission to thrive. So I cannot tell you all how much I love you, how much I appreciate your feedback, how much I want whatever I'm moving through, whatever my breakthroughs and my transformations are, to light a fire in you to transform in your own life. And if you receive any takeaways from this episode or any episode, I would so appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button. You will never miss an episode. You will always be in the loop of permission to thrive and thriving in your life. And also, if you take the time to write a 5-star review, you will be assisting us. We are literally one of the top 3% fastest growing podcasts out there. And that is because of your loyal listening. That is because you've taken a time to write a 5-star review. You have no idea how much it assists this podcast, this message that you are here to thrive, you are here to shine. Everyone in your life is here to shine. All mothers everywhere, all women everywhere, all beings everywhere are here to shine and to thrive. And your simple subscription and your simple writing a 5-star review or passing this forward to someone really will assist this podcast to continue to be one of the fastest growing podcasts out there. And you will see more and more and more women and individuals in your life thriving. And I can tell you, there's nothing more soul satisfying than seeing another sister thrive. So much love to you, and see you next week for another episode of Permission to Thrive. Much love, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If there was something in this conversation that spoke to you, we'd so appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this episode with women and mothers you know, because you are here to thrive. See you next time.